These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Guru's Yada and Candy Kisses. Regarding the new U.S. ambassador to Iraq, Jacobson has history with Iraq, having served there back in 2006 to 2007. Her last post has been that of aiding countries recover economically. She was successful in the past and called to steer Iraq's economy as they are on their way. Ms. Jacobson appears to be a good fit for Iraq. Frank 26, Georgia Bank story follow-up from 1:30:24. The bank visitor the following day, Saturday, I got a phone call from Truist Bank wealth manager. She set up appointments this Thursday to meet with me. The funny thing about this account is petty cash account. I don't keep any money in this account. Frank said, but they know you will soon. The bank visitor said, my wife said that's not a coincidence. You go and speak to somebody and it's a petty cash account. Why would a wealth manager be calling you? Frank said it's obvious they're getting ready for you. Moving on to Militiaman says the AFC fund is up 110.4% in Iraq. Huge. Think about that for a minute. What do you get at your savings account? What do you get in your IRAs? What are you getting percentage-wise over annual growth? They have 110.4%. This country is going to explode. Everybody and their brother that's invested in the dinar should be thinking clearly by now, as far as I'm concerned. This is fun. How does Iraq have one of the best funds in the world without having reasons behind it? Mark Z via PDK comment, I hear more and more groups are under NDAs. Mark Z says we are hearing more and more. My banking contacts still feel if we have to sign one, it will be about the amount we get, and we are definitely close. Sampson article, quote, the chief U.S. sanctions official is in Baghdad to curb dollar smuggling to Iran. Claire article, quote, Romanowski regarding the U.S. Treasury's visit to Iraq, enhancing cooperation between the two countries. The United States and Iraq share the goal of supporting a sound and strong financial system in Iraq, which will attract investment and ultimately benefit the Iraqi people. She added, I am pleased with the visit of U.S. Treasury Undersecretary Ryan Nelson to Iraq, stressing that this visit has strengthened this important cooperation. Frank 26 Iraq boots on the ground report Firefly. Soudani is not playing games with anybody. It looks like he's working hand in hand with the U.S. Treasury. Television now shows Rafidin Bank doing investigations of smuggling of the dollar. There's no end to the amount of corruption. Frank says your corruption is amplified by Iran. That's why you have not had the new exchange rate or lower denoms. But it is really being curtailed, controlled. Pay attention to the leadership in your country removing the corruption. Pimpy says, as long as they keep moving forward like they're doing, there's no reason for it not to, in my opinion, go up in increments. Paulette says, the issue I see is in order to peg to a basket of currencies, they would officially have to depeg from the USD. While I have yet to see the U.S. relinquish their receivership status over Iraq and the fact that U.S. is desperate to keep the USD propped up, I am unsure the actual mechanism of how they will be allowed to depeg and then repeg. It seems like receivership would need to be lifted first for that kind of move. Caparoni says, I still have significant concern over Iraq wanting to redenominate LOP, their currency. There are numerous educational symposiums teaching the citizens about such an event. This is a very real possibility. Militiaman says, everyone's excited because we're seeing exactly what this country is doing. They're doing what they said they're going to do. They're working towards going international. We should all have significant confidence that Iraq is going international. Frank 26 article, quote, the Iraqi judiciary and the U.S. Treasury discuss sanctions on Iraqi people and companies. Frank says the U.S. Treasury helps the CBI clean the floor. Quote, the two parties discussed the legal measures and sanctions issued by the U.S. Treasury Department, OFAC, regarding Iraqi people and companies. Lastly, we have Mark Z via PDK. The U.S. Treasury requests Iraqi cooperation to limit funding for armed factions. Mark Z says this is all part of what's going on as Iraq cleans up. Yesterday, again in Iraq, they started openly talking about the exchange rate and the value of the dinar.